Hello everybody, Megazard X here. I'm back at it again to give y'all another exciting video, and yes, it is that time out of the week where I take the time out to sit down with all of y'all and talk about all the gaming related news that happened within the past week. And we have a decent handful of different announcements and stuff to kind of go over in terms of news updates and stuff, because man, you know, Final Fantasy VII, you know, with the whole the global pandemic right now though, there are copies of the game going out into the wild this early on, like way before the launch. Got to talk about that. There's some opposed rumors that are going around with Mario's 35th anniversary coming up, and some potential remasters and potential ports and some other stuff, and a whole bunch of other Mario games could be potentially coming out for the rest of 2020. We got an official launch date for the Outer Worlds, and you know, Wednesday, April 1st, you know, that was April Fool's Day, so I gotta, you know, give my little 2 cents on some of the funny stuff or some of the cool stuff I might have saw with that. And then lastly, you know, The Last of Us 2 is delayed once again. So yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff to go through and talk about. So, but without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into these individual news topics. So on Monday, March the 30th, we got some more information from Square Enix dealing with Final Fantasy VII's Remake launch day. Now, we know that this game is supposed to be coming with April the 10th. However, they kind of gave us another update on saying, you know, how they're going to be able to handle the launch due to the worldwide global pandemic going on though. It is still scheduled, yes, to be released now on April 10th though, and you can see all of the details up on the screen. I won't, you know, read it word by word though, but I'll just kind of give you like the short synopsis of it right now though. But essentially they say, you know what, in order to have, you know, allow everybody to potentially have the game on launch day to the best of our abilities, despite all the stuff that's kind of going on and around, we have shipped out our copies of Final Fantasy VII Remake earlier than what normally would have been for them shipping it out. So that way, you know, all the retailers and stuff from around the world could be able to have it on time. And they specifically talked about how, you know, it was much earlier than usual for Europe and Australia. So they say, yes, you know, because of all of this stuff, it might be even possible that, yes, you know, early copies of the game will show up at these retailers, and it might eventually, you know, break street date or whatever though. And we have seen some reports about it online already of some people taking pictures of it and whatnot though, and saying, you know what, hey, I got the copy of the game early, you know what, I won't, you know, put any spoilers out there though. But then there's other people that are like, you know what, they're already kind of dumping and data mining all this stuff up right now though. So you got to be a little bit cautious if you're trying to go up into Final Fantasy VII Remake, the least spoiled as possible. Now obviously, you know, this is like a 20-year-old game or whatever though, so most of the stuff, you know, people already kind of seen though, but they had talked about in this little thing and saying, you know what, we did add a little bit of extra new content, some new little twists here and there though, flesh out different areas here as well. So you know what, hey, if you happen to manage to kind of get an early copy of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and try to keep the spoilers to yourself though, and you know, make sure that everybody is able to, you know, pick the game up on launch day on that April 10th and be able to enjoy the game to their best of their abilities though. But that's pretty much it in terms of the quick update from Square Enix though. But also on that day, oh boy, now this is where things got a little bit crazy though, because we had a news report from VGC. Originally it started with them, and then there was multiple other sources like Eurogamer and etc. that were just, you know, confirming about this report though. But apparently for the 35th anniversary, Nintendo is planning to do some re-releases and some remasters of the 3D Mario games. And yes, this consists of Mario 64, Sunshine, Mario Galaxy 1, and potentially Mario Galaxy 2, being able to remake, remaster all of those games. Now, whole shoot. Now that one, oh my gosh, like this is like a pipe dream come true, because I don't even know how in the world this is gonna be remotely possible, because we know, man, Nintendo is not the ones that usually like to be either remastering or remaking or trying to throw things into collections that often though. We've been kind of getting this sort of kind of HD treatment with the 3D Legend of Zelda games though, but to see it all happen with the Mario games and potentially just have it all on one cartridge, all in one bundle though, that's just crazy to even fathom or just even think about though. But honestly, for me, I never got to play Sunshine though, so you know what, that would be my first go-to game to play. And I played Mario Galaxy 2, but I hadn't played Mario Galaxy 1, so I'll have to go back and play that one though. And obviously Mario 64 is like one of my favorite games of all time, so of course I'm gonna have to put my foot back up in there and see, you know, how in the world they managed to bring this over though. But honestly, this is really cool though. But that's not all the information though, because they did say also that yes, they're planning on bringing 3D World Deluxe, where they're going to be adding in some extra new levels. And I think I wanted to say that they might have said something about an extra character though, but definitely new levels and whatnot though, as they're kind of giving it the deluxe edition though. And to no shock and no surprise, I think everybody and their mama kind of expected them to eventually drop 3D World as a deluxe game, because you know that's like one of the last few remaining Wii U reports that, you know, we hadn't gotten off of the Wii U yet though. So I was sort of kind of expecting that to kind of happen as well though, and I hadn't played that game as well though, so that's one I definitely have to find a way to pick that one up as well though. But that's not all of it, because we also got confirmation that that supposedly they're going to be trying to drop out a brand new Paper Mario game. However, it's going to be more of a return to form, more so similar to the Paper Mario games from the N64 as well as the GameCube games though. So I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, man, it's been a while since I played a Paper Mario game. The last one I played was Super Paper Mario from the Wii, and you know, that was like the last sort of kind of good one before it sort of kind of tailed off with Sticker Star and Color Splash and all of that stuff though. But it'll be nice to kind of have that to be returned to a form though. But the matter of fact, they're going to do all of this, you know, at first I was sort of kind of thinking, I was like, man, this is kind of crazy. Like, does this even kind of make sense though? But then you go back and look and say, you know what, they were sort of kind of trying to tie this into the Mario parks that's supposed to open up in Universal over there in Japan, that was supposed to tie into the Olympics, which is actually now canceled though. And then we also got to see the collaboration between Nintendo and Levi and how they're creating products like that, as well as, you know, like Lego Mario and stuff like that. You know, there's already sort of kind of some collaborations kind of going around to kind of promote that Mario brand. So it's not the most craziest thing in the world though, but you know, for this to be a 35th anniversary, if all of this stuff manages to come true, oh shoot, 2020, man, it probably would explain why we had this sort of kind of drought to begin with though. And then the last little thing that was sort of kind of associated with this though is there was also another little side report that they were trying to bring out as much as the back catalog as possible from the 35 years with Mario. So who knows, I think they said in this as well that they're going to try to incorporate more Mario stuff even with the Nintendo Switch Online, which a lot of the 2D Marios like Mario 1, 2, both ones, the Lost Levels as well, Mario 3 and the Super Mario World, they're already on the NES/SNES apps though. But if they can put like somehow Super Mario Land up in there, or with the 6 golden coins and all that stuff, I'm like, man, you know what, man, that would be really nice as well though. But that's pretty much it in terms of all the Mario stuff right now. It's a rumor, take it with a grain of salt though. But hey, if it does manage to come true, oh shoot, 2020 is going to be a year to remember though. But fingers crossed for that one though. Now on Tuesday, March the 31st, we got confirmation of an Outer Worlds release date, and it's going to be confirmed to come out on June the 5th. And this is what they basically had to say. The retail version of the Outer World comes to a physical cartridge, and it will be accompanied by a day one patch that could be up to 6 gigabytes. The patch will optimize gameplay, provide additional high resolution textures, and include other fixes to provide the employees of Halicon with the best gameplay experience. Please ensure that you have already have planned accordingly and have already space necessary for the patch though. So yes, it is kind of nice that yes, they were able to take this extra bit of time and actually be able to squeeze pretty much most of the whole entire game on the cartridge. The only other thing you have to worry about is, you know, that day one patch, which we traditionally kind of get with most games, how, you know, most of it is already there, but you have to download these patches or whatever though. A 6 gigabyte patch is a lot better than like a 20 plus something gigabyte patch that you might get with some PS4 and Xbox One games though. But it's finally nice to be able to see, you know, the actual release date for Outer Worlds. So you know what, we might have to wait a little bit longer though, but it's going to be in that prime summertime slot though. So remember, that comes out on June the 5th. Now the next thing on Wednesday, April 1st, obviously that was April Fool's Day, and I was kind of going into this day thinking, you know what, we're gonna get some crazy, cool, funny stuff. I remember from like a year or two ago where IGN did a funny one where it's like a mock-up Nintendo Direct saying basically everything was coming to the Switch. So I was like, you know, I had some like high expectations of some good quality jokes or some crazy announcements that are too good to be true though. But the first thing that revealed to us was the first thing I found out was Platinum 4's project April Fool's joke. Now this one actually, oh my gosh, this one actually left like a pretty sour taste up in my mouth though, because apparently Platinum basically, because you know originally we had the Project Platinum 4 projects where, you know, the first one was Confirmation Wonderful 101 coming out, the second thing was Project GG, the third thing was a new studio over there in Tokyo, and the fourth thing we were expecting something big because they said, you know what, it's something to really look forward to. And it turned out to be an April Fool's joke, because I was like, what the heck? Like, they planned this thing to come out on April 1st and everything. And apparently from the little cutscene that they had up there, uploaded on their site, it basically just showcased off a really sick looking space shooter or whatever though. And then we figured out it's like an arcade cabinet, and it was like worth like thousands of dollars. And I was like, what the heck is this? And I was like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me. Like, you were planning this April Fool's joke for this long though? I was like, what the heck? I was expecting something better than this for the Platinum Project 4 though. And it was a little kind of disappointing though, and I was like, dang. But that one right there kind of almost set the whole tone for that whole entire day though. I also managed to kind of see some artwork of some concept art of different games that there was like a Yoshi Island one or whatever though, and I was like, dang, I was like, man, I want that one to actually be real or whatever though. It was pretty disappointing for most of the jokes, and I didn't even find that many good ones though. But the one thing that did kind of give me a little bit of a chuckle was one that Game Explain actually created, where it was like a Panzer Dragoon crossover DLC with Metroid, and we got to see like Samus kind of riding on top of that flying dragon or whatever though, and you know, had like a piranha plant on the back though. I was like, dang, because at first when I clicked that thumbnail, I honestly thought this was something real, and then, you know, the opening seconds of seeing this thing start up, I was like, okay, you know what, this looks like something that's obviously fake or something like that though. And I was like, dang, I do commend them for putting that mess together. That actually did kind of give me a good chuckle though. But outside of that one thing, I was like, dang, there wasn't really like too much more to say about these April Fool's stuff. And honestly, we weren't getting that much news out because, you know, game developers are kind of skeptical about dropping news out on this day anyway, because, you know, people don't know whether or not to believe it or not though. So that was pretty much it on that day though. And lastly, on Thursday, April 2nd, we had some little bit of an unfortunate news, because the first thing was, yes, there is going to be a delay with the Iron Man VR, or the Iron Man VR that's supposed to come out for the PlayStation. That has got delayed indefinitely, as well as The Last of Us 2 is also delayed. And, you know, originally this game was supposed to drop out on February the 21st, then they pushed it back to May the 29th, and now, you know, due to all the circumstances that are kind of going on right now, they pushed it back and said, you know what, we're just delaying this indefinitely. And on the screen right now, you'll be able to kind of see, you know, what they basically have to say about it though. I won't read it for word though, but, you know, in a nutshell though, they basically said, you know what, due to the circumstances that are kind of going around with the whole entire world right now though, you know what, it's not quite feasibly possible for us to release this game, both economically as well as, you know, thinking about it socially as well though, just considering all the different stuff that's kind of happening around right now, as well as the logistics about handling all of this stuff though. Because if you think about it, you know, who in the world would kind of want to, you know, play a game of that nature, of The Last of Us 2, when you have like this whole entire pandemic kind of going around right now? That might have been some of the stuff that was in their minds though. The good news is that they were pretty much almost done with the development of this game. There was just a few little bugs and stuff that they kind of had to, you know, pound out or whatever though. But, you know, this is, you know, a kind of decision that Sony, along with Naughty Dog, had to sort of kind of come together and agree about on, and saying, you know what, you know, just due to the times, we just cannot put this game out right now though. So it is a little bit unfortunate for all of the Last of Us fans. You know what, in my heart, I was honestly thinking that this game was going to get delayed again, and it actually did happen though. So that's kind of funny though. But it is a little bit unfortunate for the Last of Us fans though. But you're just going to sit tight. And honestly, in my head, what I'm thinking is they're probably going to drop this game out probably as a PlayStation 5 launch title. Kind of pulled the same thing like what Nintendo did with the Breath of the Wild. It got delayed so many times where, you know what, it happened to be a Switch launch title or whatever though. But that's just my little prediction on that though. So that about does it for all the information I had to report about for y'all for this week's Gamers Brief, y'all. But remember, if y'all really like this video, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell to keep up to date on all things video games topics that I feel like discussing and talking about on these Fridays as well though. Make sure to check back on the channel because I got an interesting video that's going to be dropping tomorrow as well though, so you can kind of look forward to that though. And that's pretty much all that I have for y'all at this time though. So remember y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.